Okay, we are recording our episode 3 for Glenda Blasts Your Ear Off. And make sure my microphone is set correctly. This story, written by Josh Busch, is called Orabel. And it's about a Bigfoot who travels through the toilet transportation network. It's based off of some weird dream I had a while ago about time travel through a toilet. I have weird dreams. Okay, here we go. Orabel stepped off the toilet seat, opened the bathroom stall door, and wondered where she was this time. There were lights on above the sink, which meant there was electricity in this time period. She just entered. But where was she? She'd have to leave the bathroom to find out. Orabel opened the bathroom door and found herself in a room with a high roof. There were countless shelves of books. Orabel took in a slow, deep breath of contentment. A library! Orabel loved books. She led a lonely existence, and books were her only friends. You know what they say. You can never have enough friends who are books. Orabel stood in front of a shelf and waited for a book to shout out to her to be read. But instead, a woman shouted in fright. She pointed at Orabel and yelled, "A Bigfoot! A Bigfoot!" Annoyed, Orabel sprinted away. All she wanted out of life was some company, but companionship was hard to come by when people reacted like that woman back there. And where was she? Orabel saw the newspaper section and stopped running. She scanned the papers. Chicago, 1924. So people, and a lot of them, were going to notice her. Orabel wanted to explore the city, but she also didn't want to get locked up by the authorities. What to do? Gotta quit hitting my desk there. It makes a weird noise in my microphone. What to do? A man appeared and said out loud, Who's doing all the screaming?" "Oh, a Bigfoot!" And he backed up into a shelf. And books rained down on his head. "Who's doing all the screaming?" "Oh, a Bigfoot!" Rolling her eyes, Orabel sprinted away again. She decided to skip seeing Chicago and ran back to the bathroom, and there was the woman from before. With her were 2 other library patrons, and upon seeing Orabel, their eyes all went wide and their mouths fell open. Ignoring them, Orabel went back into the bathroom and entered a different stall this time. Orabel climbed up on top of the toilet seat, patted the toilet 3 times, and then she saw the flash of white light. And then Orabel was somewhere else. Orabel raised her furry eyebrows in mild surprise. Orabel had traveled the toilet transportation... It's hard to say. Orabel had traveled the toilet transportation network for countless years and had been to... I have to say it and not... It's like a tongue twister for me. Orabel had traveled the toilet transportation network for countless years and had been to many time periods in exotic locales, but this felt different. She stepped down from the toilet seat, and the people around her eyed her, but they didn't react like the Chicago people. These people were going to the bathroom in a line of toilets. They were outside. It was hot. Orabel, with her thick fur, didn't Orabel with her thick fur didn't like deserts. The people wore very primitive clothes. Orabel knew she was deep in the past. She saw a ziggurat. I say it both ways because I need to do a pronunciation check to see which one's correct. Like the Tower of Babel. The ziggurat. The people around her had spears, which Orabel was glad to see weren't pointed at her. Orabel thought they were glad to see her, which was a welcome change from the library. The people tried talking with her, but Orabel couldn't make any sense of... The people tried talking to her, but Orabel couldn't make sense of their language. They motioned for her to follow them, and she did. Orabel had no idea where they were taking her, but she marveled at people's responses to her. Many smiles, and some even cheered for her. Is this how it felt to be a celebrity? Orabel reveled in the attention and barely paid attention to the streets she was being herded down. Where were they taking her? Then Orabel saw 12 fighting pits. There were battles raging in all of them. Humans fought other humans, and in other pits, humans fought animals. Orabel found this unsettling. Orabel saw where they must be taking her. There was a seating area of wealthy people, and in the middle there was seated another Bigfoot, and the Bigfoot was adorned in gold. Orabel could count on her furry left hand the number of times she'd seen another Bigfoot. Orabel neared the other Bigfoot, and when he saw her, his eyes danced with delight. He stood and promptly hugged her, and Orabel thought she could get used to this. He let go and spoke in English. "Welcome to ancient Sumeria, to the city of Ur. It is such a gift to meet you. I am King Tantan." Orabel's heart wouldn't stop pounding in her chest. She felt like crying with joy. Another Bigfoot! She had been so lonely for so long. Orabel said quietly, "I'm Orabel. It is good to meet you, King Tantan. Another Bigfoot." He motioned to the chairs and said, "Come sit." Orabel did as she was asked, and then was given plate after plate of food and goblets of wine, and all the while the fighting in the pits went on. People and animals alike died many gruesome deaths, and the city of Ur cheered the combatants. Not sure what that was. My computer made a noise. People and animals alike died many gruesome deaths, and the city of Ur cheered the combatants on. Orabel asked Tantan how he became king, and he answered, "The people of Sumeria reward warriors with power, and my Bigfoot strength makes me a warrior without match." "How long have you been a ruler?" King Tantan said proudly, 2 weeks, but it's been 2 weeks of constant battle. I am expected to fight every day, against human and beast alike." Orabel didn't like the sound of that, and she asked, "But why put yourself in such risk? No offense, but how long do you think you can keep cheating death?" King Tantan frowned and replied, Surely you've been nowhere else in your travels where Bigfoot is treated so well? To be celebrated and not feared." Orabel sighed. "But I've just met you, and you're going to die." Orabel could see she was making Tantan angry. He spat, "What is the point of living a long life of persecution? Stay here with me, be queen, and have the best time of your life." Orabel was very tempted by Tantan's offer. To be with a Bigfoot, to finally not be alone, to not be run away from, to be adored by an entire city. But how long could it last? What if Tantan slipped in the fighting pits and his combatant took advantage? And what then? Would the people of Ur expect her to become a warrior? Orabel wanted nothing to do with that. The fighting finally ended, and Orabel went with King Tantan to his rooms, where they enjoyed one another's company. Orabel had never felt so happy. Ever. And Orabel acted like this was her last night on Earth. She savored every single moment like it would never happen again. And in the morning, Orabel stood on top of a toilet once again, patted it 3 times, and traveled to another time, another place, to somewhere where she could have a longer life. Orabel saw that she was in an outhouse. She climbed down and walked away. Not away, out. She climbed down and walked out. She saw a 2-story house nearby. And behind it, an ocean with its crashing waves. And Orabel could feel the wind on her face when all she wanted to feel was Tantan's hand on her cheek. A young girl walked out of the house. To use the outhouse, Orabel surmised. The girl walked up to Orabel and smiled up at the Bigfoot. The girl said, "A teddy bear! Will you be my teddy bear? Will you hug me? I want to feel your fur." Orabel bent down, scooped the girl up, and said, "Yes, I'll be your teddy bear." The end. All right. Until next time.